Want to know the latest trends and insights in the marketing, advertising, and startup space in the MENA region? This is where you have to be. Welcome to the Brand Tribe. The Brand Tribe is a digital knowledge lounge for igniting ideas, inspirations, and interactions for the marketers and entrepreneurs of the region. Stay tuned to keep getting inspired. Keep reading at www.thebrandtribe.com. Hi Nidhi, welcome to the Brand Tribe podcast, and we are so happy to have you over here. I have personally known you for a while now, but I'm so glad to share the journey and our conversation with all the audience. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Anamika. Thank you so much for having me here. It's such an honor that I get to do this with you. Like you mentioned, we've worked together before, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story with you on your platform.
Yes, looking
Happy to
forward
be
to knowing more about you. I guess we all get to discover everything every time something new from each other.
absolutely right.
So let me introduce
Awesome.
you briefly to my audience. I know that you are a coach, you are also an author, and you are something unique, which is a story healer. Can you tell me what these terms mean? Because yes, they are very nice to hear, but can we know more what they mean specifically?
Absolutely. And thank you for asking that question because sometimes when I tell people that I'm a story healer, they pretty much have the same reaction. That sounds impressive, but what does that mean? So, like you said, I am a coach. I am an ICF certified life coach with my training in NLP, hypnotherapy, and a couple of other things. Uh, and during the course of my work, I work with women entrepreneurs who are pretty much either solo or run small to medium businesses of their own. Now, the thing is, Anamika, what I realized is while working with these wonderful, fantastic women who have brilliant lives, who have created these businesses for themselves, um, it is a lot of the stories that they are telling themselves that are holding them back from growing and expanding their businesses. And in the process of working with them, I realized that it is healing these stories or reframing and realigning these stories, re energizing these stories, if you will, that we sometimes find solutions to their business growth problems. So, which is why I call myself a story healer. The caveat here is, of course, that I don't do the healing. People heal their own stories. I'm just a medium for that.
That's
Yeah, so
awesome.
that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
And actually, we connect to it so much because you are a story healer. You help people heal their stories, and we help bring their stories out and share it to the world. So
Yeah,
definitely, that's a huge connection that we have with each other. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
so Nidhi, I wanted to ask that how did you get on this path of coaching? You were in a corporate life earlier, and what was the trigger point? Where did it all start?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Mostly because there was no one turning point. It was a series of points, and it may sound again very repetitive, but that's how the story evolved. So, to begin with, yes, I used to be a market researcher in a previous avatar. I worked with AC Nielsen and TNS. I don't know what it's called right now in its current avatar. And I started doing my own consulting after I left the corporate world, and I became a blogger. So, because writing has always been my true passion, that's been something that I really love doing. And as the internet has evolved and given us all platforms, I started blogging. This was way back in, I think, 2006, if I'm not mistaken, that I started
Wow.
blogging first. Yeah.
So you were
I'm,
one of those first pioneers of blogging world.
yes, I'm a dinosaur.
You can
Yeah.
share a lot of tips with us, but I know how blogging as a term has evolved over the years.
Yes, yes, blogging meant a very different thing back then. But yes, so I pretty much evolved as the internet evolved, as its reach evolved, and I could see the power of reaching people through this medium, right? And I continued growing my blogging, but what I realized was me speaking as an individual uh, was powerful, yes, but if I grew a collective of people, collective of bloggers, writers, uh, and gave them a platform, that would be even better. So which is why I started a platform. That was my first business actually back in India. It was called Mumbai Mom, and through that platform it was targeted towards parents, and I called it for the person behind the parents. So through that platform we did a lot of events. So that's how I got into events. We started literature festivals and used to do a lot of events for parents as well. So literally stumbling down the pathway to entrepreneurship. And then when I moved to Dubai, again it was a huge life change, and a lot of people who live in Dubai, I think they can associate with the experience of being a trailing spouse, which is basically leaving the life that as you knew it behind, and then coming to this country which has a very interesting but beautiful entire structure of living and working, and the opportunity to again redesign my life as a different kind of entrepreneur. What I realized here again was there was an opportunity for me to um, impact lives of other people, but probably not through just blogging and writing, but also including aspects of speaking and most importantly, listening. I realized that people want to be heard, people want to be understood, and they were not getting as much opportunity to do so. And that's how I really started Anamika. I started doing workshops, which I thought I was teaching, but then I realized all I needed to do was sit and listen, and people would find their own solutions. And that's basically when I realized that
Yeah,
coaching
this is
is
for
probably
you.
what, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I need to do. Yeah, so
So
long story.
no, I guess the long story, but there are so many aspects which many of us can resonate with, especially the life of an expat, life of a trailing spouse, as you called it. We have had our similar journeys. We might have chosen different paths, but some way or the other, we can connect. But I like that you use the term redesign your life. That's
Yeah.
like giving back yourself the power rather than becoming a victim of the circumstances, a victim
Hmm.
of the choices that has come away, to taking the power back. So I think that's something that we forget to, these small things, that how
Yeah.
a vision change or how a perspective change can actually change the path of your life, and that's what you do with your story visioning, I guess.
Yes. Absolutely. So I love the way you've segued into my signature program. Yes,
It just
redesigning, like,
happened. It was not planned.
yeah, you're a great moderator. You know how to just flow in the right direction.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
What?
So, yes, you wanted to ask me something?
Yeah. So please share a little more about your concept of story visioning and taking the power back in our own hands of redesigning our life.
Sure. So, like I was mentioning, Anamika, I started off by doing life coaching, and because that was what I got trained into. But then I realized that life coaching is something one on one, and I continued doing it. But a lot of us don't have the opportunity to sign up for life coaching, or really spend so much time and intention and effort and money towards signing up with a coach, which is when I came up with this program, which is fairly self led. It has all the content and the directions uh, to guide one towards finding out the pieces that are blocking your way towards the vision that you need to have, but there is something blocking your view. So this entire program, story visioning, which is based on the tenets of storytelling. So we use a lot of journaling prompts and writing in it. um, Over here I want to really break a bit and say that from this module onwards, not this module, this time onwards, um, I decided to give people the power to even write voice notes if they were not comfortable writing down things. So when I say writing, I mean speaking out your truth, blurting out what is within you. So by using this concept of storytelling, this concept of unraveling our stories to create a vision for ourselves that we think we have in our mind, but we have not been able to actually elaborate even for ourselves. And the basic concept behind story visioning is that sometimes we are not able to reach our destination simply because it's not very clear in our head. So, this entire process clarifies all of that, and it's a beautiful journey towards creating a life that you want to live.
Great. Sounds really interesting. So, here I want to pause a bit and ask you that you are helping entrepreneurs clear their heads into the space that they want to be, to the path they want to be. But at the same time, you are also an entrepreneur. You also have your own challenges. What are those, and how do you go about handling them? Who helps you out in those circumstances?
Look at who's asking me this question. All right. Okay. So, as an entrepreneur and as a solopreneur, for most part, I think the biggest challenge is to get the word out there about what I do, because I know for sure, and the clients that I have had in the past know for sure that the work that we do together is very powerful. But to really get the word out there and to get more people to know about this work, because this is life changing work, is the biggest challenge. And you're helping me with that, Anamika. So I would like to mention Brand Tribe over here,
Thank
because
you.
Brand Tribe does the marketing for my brand. Yeah, and so yeah, that's one of the biggest issues. And the other thing which I find really challenging, and I'm being very honest here, is finding the right price point which suits people, because I think people don't um realize that life coaching involves a lot of hours that the coach puts behind coming, before they come and start talking to you. It's not like they just decide to talk to you and that's it. There's a lot of work that they've done on themselves. That's a journey that they've taken. There are a lot of trainings that they do. There's a lot of pain before they come and show up for you and hold space for you. And it's not just a, you know monetary value that you're getting out of it. It's life changing, right? Like I said. And sometimes I find that there's a pressure on having a price point which is available for more people, because honestly, as somebody who wants people to benefit from my work, I also want to make it accessible. I don't want my price point to be something which blocks people from working with me. So yeah, I think that is one thing I struggle with. But I found a way to kind of navigate that, which is why I create programs, group programs, which are easily accessible. People can, I mean, kind of self navigate it a little bit and then get some help from me. And there's another type of work that people can do with me, which is my one on one coaching and programs. So I think what I've done to resolve that for me is to create different ways in which people can work with me. And the lowest price point, of course, is to buy my book. I have a book called Story Visioning, available on Amazon. So that's the lowest price point. So yeah, so that is a challenge, but I think I'm doing well with navigating it.
Great. So there is another challenge that I would like to mention for especially working moms is multitasking, which we have endless discussions on. So yes, I am sure that with every passing year, we are getting better at it, right? And there is no formula for acing that, I guess.
I when you said challenge, I didn't mean you to mention no life, right? That's the reality of life.
I get it.
Mm,
And
yeah.
also, when you mentioned about the price point, I know, when people talk about, okay, as simple as, okay, this logo can be designed in 2 hours. So why is it expensive? I was like, the cost that you're paying is not for those 2 hours, but for the 10 or 15 years of experience that designer brings to the table. So that's
Yeah.
always a challenge to make people, value the
Yeah.
things. But
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly speaking, as and I'm not trying to um blame anybody who does a little bit of bargaining. That's in our nature, right? Especially as South Asian people, women.
True,
Uh,
true.
Everyone wants a good deal, but I think we all should understand that if we are seeking out somebody for their help, then we are the ones in need, and if they can help us through this problem, be it even designing a logo, uh, for me, I really really appreciate people who can do that, because for me, that is, like you mentioned, it's 15 years of experience that you've had, 15 plus years of experience that you've had. I don't understand the importance of color, of construct, of design, of the way it matches and moves along with my whatever my brand is, whatever
Visions,
the
yeah.
vision is all about. Similarly, I appreciate that. So it is all of that which goes into the pricing. So if I seek you out, I probably there would be a little bit of discussion on the price, which is expected. But yeah, I mean, I think we should all keep in mind that whenever we seek out somebody else who does something, then we have to remember that, to respect their.
Yes.
Uh,
See, again, this is bringing in a fresher perspective in the way we are interacting on an everyday. So, if we are seeking out for help, remember,
yeah,
audience, then we should come from a place of gratefulness
yeah,
and not from arrogance. It just changes the perspectives. It
yeah,
just
yeah.
changes the relationships because both parties are working for the same objectives.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautifully put. See, because yeah, you're right. I mean, nobody's here to win a prize, or, there's no competition here. Yeah, absolutely.
So you have already pitched in, but I would love to go back to your book, which I love
Yes.
reading. So it's like a go-to. It's a very small book, so it's very easy to keep going back to it.
Yes.
And I love the way you have explained about manifestation, the
Hmm.
easy tips, the steps. It makes it so much simpler. But I would also like to mention that this is a term which is quite trending, if I may say so.
Hmm.
So there is a lot of glamorous associations with it, but ignoring the depth behind it. So,
Hmm.
can you throw some light on it? Because you have actually written a book with so much research. And so I'm sure this is coming from a place of deep belief in the process of manifestation.
Absolutely. And I love the question, because I think manifestation has become quite a trendy topic these days. And I love it. Honestly speaking, I have absolutely no this thing about TikTokers doing like 1 minute videos about quick manifestation. So I love it. I love the fact that people have understood that there is something beyond um, the obvious logical route of goal setting, and that people have an energetic ability to manifest their realities. And sorry, I'm taking a minute to go back to your question. So you were asking me why it's not just a fad, but it is something which is longer lasting and deep. Yeah. So here is the thing, manifestation actually is very simple if you just think about it. Our entire life is a manifestation of something that we thought about a couple of years ago. This is what I tell people the first time they ask me about manifestation. I say that just think back a couple of years back and think about the things that you were thinking, and think about how many of those things have actually come true in your life. So we are actually constantly manifesting in our lives. It's not a switch that you have to turn on. The switch is perpetually on. The lives that we live, this is an example I love giving, which is basically humanity evolved from being hunter gatherers. We used to roam around, half naked, and kill animals, and slowly we learned farming, and now we live in a country where there is the tallest building in the world, almost a kilometer high. The marvels around us uh, are all the evidence that you need about how we have manifested what we believed was possible for us, right? Yes, you'll say there is science, there is technology, but even science and technology is based on believing something. Like, even if you think of electricity was not there was somebody who thought about harnessing the power of something which creates electricity. Today we press on a switch and the lights are on and we don't even think about how it happened, right? So manifestation is something we all do all the time. Um, the only difference is when you manifest with intention, then it becomes a little bit more faster, and then it starts working in your favor, and then that's when it starts looking like magic. And that's what people uh,
Are
don't.
aiming for.
Yeah, and yeah, some of them don't understand how is it possible. It's because wherever your energy and attention goes and your intention flows, that's where things start turning up, right? So I think using manifestation as an intentional tool in your business, in your life, is just being smart. Instead of wasting your energy randomly and saying, even if not, being aware of what you're thinking of or where you're putting your intentions, it's just wasted energy, right? If you start putting your intentions in a particular direction with a particular goal in mind, then you manifest things quicker. So
Perfect.
yeah.
That's a perfect tip for driving our life.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about blocks and hurdles that comes our way in our stories and things like that. And 2020 has been the biggest hurdle that has come in the way of entrepreneurs, especially. And but most of us have picked our way and we are, creating a new story, new chapter, and hoping that 2022 will be the best one ever. Coming from your scope of manifestation, can you give some easy tips for people who are trying to create a vision for themselves for the next year? What should
Wow, what a wonderful question. The first thing they can do is they can join my workshop.
that was easy.
Yes. And I'll make it really easy for you. Just sign up for my workshop and I'll give you the all the steps towards that. Uh, but jokes apart, I love that, as humanity, we think that a new year will give us a new opportunity to set intentions. So the energy of a new year is always very good to start working on your manifestation. So you can already start doing it, even if we are right now at the beginning of December, something. Start thinking about the things that you really, really want to achieve. Don't put a timeline to it. So even if you are aiming at 2022 to be the year that everything changes for you, don't put a timeline to it. Don't say that by December 2022 or by XYZ date, I want to achieve this. But really try to put your attention on what you really want. And one of the biggest things that I teach in my workshops is to see how aligned your desires are, or whatever it is that you want to achieve is with your values and your beliefs, right? And the reason I say it is sometimes we set goals and intentions without really thinking through if we really, really want them.
Wanted.
Yeah. So sometimes it is just a comparison. Like this person has it, so I also want it. This person has 5,000 followers on Instagram. I also want it. I want to earn $10,000 per month, but there's no reason behind it. So make sure that your reason and your desire is held in strong belief of what it means for you and your own value system, right? Because otherwise your desire will not hold strong. So it's a good time for introspection. We have a couple of weeks to do introspection on what we desire and what are our beliefs which are supporting it. And really look at why we have not been able to reach there. What are the beliefs that we already have about ourselves and our business and our life which are non supportive of these desires, and start working on them. So I think one of this may sound very simple, but it is really powerful to question ourselves really deeply and get uncomfortable, really get uncomfortable with ourselves, because it's only on the other side of discomfort that we get answers, right? So I would really suggest picking up a paper and pen. Journaling is my favorite tool, and start free journaling on your desires, and then trying to dig into those and see what are the mental blocks that you have, right? It sounds like a very messy way to set about manifestation, but I think, like I said, you have to clear the clutter in order to see the light. And another tip, just adding up to that, is add gratitude already. So the way to manifestation is paved with gratitude. It's only when you start seeing what you already have, what you've already achieved, will you start building up the energy to create more of that in your life. And like I mentioned before, not just clearing the clutter in your mind, but also clearing physical clutter around you. Again, great time to do that. End of the year, look through your papers, look through your home, your life, and see what has already served its purpose and what is it that you can actually let go, because that's how you will create space for more to come in.
These are some wonderful tips. I can already start thinking what I'm going to do ahead in these next 4 weeks. And definitely, I read in your book as well that sometimes our limiting belief is the biggest hurdle. That, why we have not been able to manifest is because we don't believe maybe that we deserve it, or something else which is there in our mind which we have not acknowledged, and that's coming in the way of our manifestation. So
Yeah.
yes, it's a great time for introspection. And recently, I had a conversation with my son about quotes, and he was telling me some very cool one, and he asked me my favorite one, and I told him, "Wish carefully, you might get it."
Yeah, it may come
So,
true.
so your conversation was reminding me that actually so many times we wish, and as you mentioned about social media and FOMO and this and that, that our desires are not deep rooted enough in our belief system, and that's why we are being guarded by not being fulfilled. I love this discussion because more than information, it gives me thoughts to introspect. And I'm looking forward to doing it. And I hope all of the audience listening to this also get enough tools to create a new story for 2022.
Absolutely. I would love for them to, see if any of these tips work for them. And I'm sure you'll let me know if anyone gets back to you with the same.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining and sharing all your wonderful tips with us. Wishing you a great year ahead.
Thank you so much, Anamika. Lovely being on your show, and good luck for 2022.
Bye.
Bye bye.